Does anyone have any deals they'd like to present for sale, or something? Tell us what you're looking for. Maybe give us an idea of any deals you've done recently. Guys, this is interactive. I'm standing up here real uncomfortable. So.
Okay, so I have a couple deals on battery.
Would you like to bring them up from on the camera?
I did not charge my battery. It's about to go dead. We have a 4-piece project in Charleston, all on the same. Actually, there are only 4 homes on the block. Meeting Street in Charleston, they're being sold together, or you can go in together and each get a piece. It's 1.25 is our asking price at this time. It's a pretty big file, so we're emailing a link to where you can see our comps, comparables, pictures of each property in the surrounding area. So you can reach out to me for that. We also have some properties in Charlotte, 2 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom homes. What's that? 485 around the what's that? No, I'm sorry, I'm super tired. So I'm going brain dead right now.
South Park
we have some. I'm sorry.
South Park Mall.
No, not South Park Mall. Off of 485, where they built the what do you call that? Prime outlet type thing. The outlet mall that they built about 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago. So out in that area, we have quadplexes in Orangeburg. So anything north, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, we have something in those areas. And you can just at some point reach out to me and we'll swap some contact information.
Do you have contact information? Do you have a card?
Yes, definitely.
We're on Meeting Street.
717 through 723.
The meeting's one over from King Street, right?
Yeah, it's right off of I-26. Where is it? Somewhere over here.
Sure. There we go. No one read that?
Yeah, that email address is kind of long there.
Oops.
It's savvy with 2 V's, virtualsolutions.co. There's not an M on the end of the email address or our website. It's just .co. So, and actually, we also have another property in Charleston. It's just one on Heather Street.
I didn't see that okay.
Do we need to open the door to people in?
Yeah, sure. How many people are out there?
I'm trying to help with the light. It's not helping.
There's
the light over here. Oh, everybody get it? I'm not helping.
When Bob was standing in front of me.
Yeah, it's like you did something with shadows.
Okay.
I don't know.
How's that?
But I will hang out afterwards. You can reach out to me.
Okay, how's that? Is that any better?
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll fix that one.
That's it.
Yeah.
How's that
Oh.
better?
Yes. Columbus, Georgia. I mean, no, Columbus, Georgia. Right on the Alabama border.
The properties you have in Virginia, where are they?
Richmond.
Richmond?
But you tell me what you're looking for.
Does anyone else have, you have any more?
If they contact me, we do, but we'll just go from that because I don't have all the documentation, so everybody else can get their turn. I'm not selfish.
Boy, too bad Marty's not here. He flies down in Charleston. Okay, does anyone else have any deals they'd like to present for sale? Okay, come on up.
My name is Craig Burns, here in Columbia. Got a deal in the 29203 area. See if I can get it looked it up, right? That's right.
Look, we're bringing that down.
Other way.
Everybody's out in the hallway.
Oh.
Yes, please.
Is that about it?
Open the door.
I'm trying to expand it, but
Just turn it to your left. One more time. There you go. There you go. Yep.
this is. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Is that there's a little light? Got a little glare. Okay. This is the property. The address is 107 Hillcrest Avenue. It's in the 29203 area code. These are the specifications: 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Building 2003, 1095. It also comes with 5 vacant lots along with it. It equals 1.18 acres. So it's kind of like the whole block along the way. So they have the house along with the whole 5 lots. There's 6 lots included, but it's 5 empty lots. It's already tagged and pinned, so it's already split up. So if anybody's a builder, they can build, you know, like 5 of the houses on it. If you want to get in contact, this is my number, Craig, and I have a partner. So those are the 2 numbers there. Asking price is $85. That's including everything as far as the acres and the house. It doesn't need much work, maybe about 5,000 to 10,000 at the most. Here's some more. Oh, sorry. That's some more of those. There's some pictures of the house. It has as far as repairs, it does has a little piece of mold in the master bedroom. Got a analysis of probably about $2,500, $3,000 to get it fixed. That's kind of the only major besides cosmetic, paint, carpet. Well, no carpet. It has hardwood floors. So again, that's the contact information. If y'all want to get in contact with me, I'll meet you after the meeting. But that's my cell phone number and my partner's number. Again, my name is Craig.
Would you sell the house just by itself? Does it come with everything?
Yeah, it comes with everything. They want to get rid of everything all at once. All right.
Okay, is there anyone else with come on up, and you always have something.
I surely do. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Crandon Dillard. I am a wholesaler, flipper. I do it all, basically. So I have 3 properties to present today. 2 condos and 1 possible rental, maybe flip, depending on what you choose to do with it. So because I am in the pictures for the condo, I will show the condo first. This condo is on Chesapeake Court in 29223. There it goes. Looks like it's about right. Should rent for around about $900 based on the area. The condo is pretty much move-in ready. There is a spot here that I was able to get the owner to agree to fix, so you won't have to worry about it. That spot there. Uh-oh, guess you guys can't see that. Boom, there you go. Yeah, y'all see that. So basically what it is, the overflow plan for the, before they fixed the AC unit, the overflow plan actually leaked onto the ceiling, but because her daughter's living there and she's not paying rent, she said she's not going to fix it until she has it under contract. So now that I have it under contract, she did agree to fix it before whoever buys it. We're asking $45,000 for that one. That would be a really great investment property. If you can move in, get it. If you can get it, clean it, and then put somebody in it, you don't have to really do any work in there. It comes with fully furnished stainless steel appliances on the inside. All of them work, so you won't even have to put appliances in it. The only thing that you probably will have to do is get a dryer because she only has a washer in there at the time, and it's a stainless steel washer. Pretty cool.
No HOAs on it?
No HOA fees, no regime fees, none of that. So this is a straight up rental. Does have a pretty new roof, architectural shingles on it. She said the roof was replaced 3 years ago. So once again, it's not really much you got to do with it, but get in there, clean it up, and then throw your renter in. Great rental property. The other property I have is another condo, not too far, probably less than a mile from from the one I just showed you, maybe a mile from what I just showed you. It's on Hunt Club Road in the Huntington at Creekside is the name of the condo community. Unfortunately, this one does have an HOA. However, sorry, there's a glare here. Screen's a little bright. Bam. Looks good. Looks good. This one does have an HOA. The HOA is $270 a month, but that $270 includes your water, trash, sewer, and access to the pool. They are responsible for the outside, the front facade, the actual roof of the main property, and the windows, doors, and all that stuff. There is a screened-in porch on the back that has a new roof. They actually replaced the roof on the screened-in porch. However, there's 2 skylights on that screened-in porch, and you can see the flashing around the right skylight. Somebody didn't do a good job, so that has to be repaired. Water damage on the inside of the screened-in porch, so that's something that you have to go in and take a look at. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, with a living room in the back. It's like a dining room, not dining room. It's kind of like a den in the back that they converted to a 3rd bedroom. So that's something you want to consider. It does need some work. It does need. That's the screening porch I'll show you guys out in the back. They decided to put up some plywood to try to make it so it's not screened in. You just take it up. Like I said, it does need a little bit. Does need a little bit of touch in there. Let them know. A little bit of love, and you're good to go. That area rents for about $1,000. The broker that I worked with to get this, he rented out the one next door to it for $1,000, probably last month. So you have a really good comp there because you know what the neighbor's paying. Like I said, we're asking $45,000 for that one. However, since most of us in here are wholesalers or have dealt with wholesalers, I do have some room to play on that one. So you go in there, you like it, send me an offer, give me an offer that's not disrespectful, and 9 times out of 10 I'll accept it. I have one other property that's in Winsboro. I don't know if anybody's buying in Winsboro. We got that one for, we're asking $30,000 for it. I had my realtor friend run the comps out there because it's just not a lot of movement going on. The comps came in at right around 75 to 80. It's a pretty decent property. I've posted that in the group several times. So, and I don't know if I have these pictures on this phone. But if you have any questions about that one, if you're looking in Winsboro, I can send you all the pictures and all the details on that one as well. Like I said, we're asking $30,000. Really trying to get that one off. So give me a competitive offer, and I guarantee I'll say yes. Because I'm really trying to get rid of that one because I don't know. I'm tired of driving back and forth to Winsboro. Save me my gas. If you guys need to reach me, my number is 803-216-5655. 1608. My email address is Crandon, which is like Brandon with a C. It's not really hard. Not really hard. At monopolyllc.biz. Or you can go to my website, which is monopolyllc.biz. See how I did that.
Can you repeat your phone number again?
Sure, it's 803-216-1608.
Thank you.
And majority of these things that I presented today are in the group. So if you go into the Midlands Mastermind group, do a search for me, and you'll see the ones that I posted up there. Yeah, so thank you. I guess I'm still being asked.
Okay, is there anyone else with a deal they'd like to present for sale? Come on up.
Hey everyone, I am Dawn Adams, and I have some flyers. I have like 3 different things. The first one, I don't know if any of y'all do business down in Augusta, but I have 18 portfolio properties. It's in a portfolio, it's 18 properties that are available. So here I'll give you the flyer first.
All together or individually?
All together?
Do they separate them?
They won't separate them.
Under finance?
They won't owner finance. They're interested in just selling them. So, which way is right with this? There it is. Odd. All right, close enough. All right. Anyway, so this should say not assumption, but assignment price, right? $650,000. It's the estimated ARV, and this is through the RPR app. The estimated ARV is conservatively $1.139 million for these. The tax assessment has them. The tax assessed values are $752,000, almost $753,000. Most of them, there are 18 properties and 20 units total, because one of them is a triplex. So let's get this here. And most of them are rented. So the rents accumulate together about $90,000, sorry, my finger's in the way, about $90,000, where is that coming from? Oh, I see, okay, here we go. About $90,000 in revenue yearly. It's got a 13.88% cash-on-cash return. And there are 5 vacant units. Of the 20 units total, there are 5 vacant. Some of them are in actually really decent shape, maybe a little, some flooring and some paint. And then a couple of them need some kitchen appliances, but other than that, they look like they're in good shape. So Augusta is a super hot market right now, especially with the Cyber Center going in right next to Fort Gordon. So there's, it's as hot as Columbia, if not even more so, just it's booming there. Anyway, so those are those. Anyone want a flyer? I have flyers that has all my contact information. The next one I've got is, 8 lots of land in West Columbia in a developed subdivision. They're the last 8 lots. We have them for $45,000. Of course, these are suggested. All of these are suggested. You guys bring us like a viable offer, and we'll talk with you really for all of it. So these are in West Columbia. These 8 lots, and they're right next to the airport. Technically, they're in Casey. And let's see. So there's the airport. You can see where the airport is right up at the top there. And then there are the lots where the yellow marker is. So they're right up against the green belt too. They're right at the edge there. I've got, let's see, I've got this property over here on Lake Ridge, which is in Columbia. Can't hardly see the picture. Oh, but I do have pictures though. And these has a renter in it. They're getting $650,000. I'm sorry, $650 a month. A month, right? Right, yeah, exactly. $650 a month. The rents there are closer to $700 to $900. We did discover a leak down underneath the house. It's from the bathroom coming down. So we're anticipating about $10,000 because it looks like it's going to need a subfloor. We've got that. We were offering it for 40, but again, like come at us with a viable offer. The comps in the area are going for between $60,000 and $70,000. That's in Columbia in the 29203 area code, zip code. And then the last one I've got is out in Aiken County, John Boylston Drive. It's a 2003 mobile home. A couple years ago, it was tax assessed at $55,000 just for the home itself. But it's a modular home, so it's attached. Is that? I think. And anyway, then they had some renters in it, and the renters kind of let it go a little bit. So the outside looks pretty good. And it needs a little bit of flooring in some of the bedrooms. These are really washed out. You can actually see them on the phone pretty well. But a little bit of flooring and paint. Paint throughout, flooring in a couple of the bedrooms, and then the master bathroom that has some water damage, and so the master bathroom is going to have to be replaced. It's about $10,000. We have it available for $25,000. The ARV on the whole place is about $60,000. So again, I have flyers if anybody would like some more information on any of these. Yeah, there you go. Sure. So these are the 18 properties if you want anything else.
Would you like to pull one into the camera?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, for sure. So these are the 18 properties. We'll look into the camera. What do you think? Anyone else?
Choose a jump drive or not?
Jump drive?
Yes or no?
Okay, can everyone see? Oops. Does everyone see Don's contact information? Does everyone see that okay? Okay, is it okay if I replace that now? You okay? You have your contact information on there somewhere?
Yeah. All right, so here is, this is a property that I have in, that I'm trying to sell. All right, it's they're asking for 115, or we're asking for 115. The property comes with 3.2 acres of land. So it's a pretty, as you can see, it's a pretty big flat land, and behind it is a subdivision.
Where is it?
It's on 39, I'm gonna give you the address. 3901 Almer Road, Columbia, South Carolina. And it's about 5 minutes from, Fort Jackson, and about 2920. Yeah. Yeah, that's the zip code, yes. So it's about 5 miles from Fort Jackson and 8 miles from USC. So the roof is, as you can see, the roof is fairly new, about maybe 6 years old. That's the property. That's the front of the house. That's the kitchen area. It needs a little bit of updating, but the person was living in the house, so the house is moving ready. You just need to clean up a little bit to move in. The property used to be, it's 1,690 square foot. Used to be 3 bedrooms, and he did some work to the property, and it's now 2 bedrooms, but you can easily convert that back to 3 bedrooms. So that is that. The carpet is in good shape, so you will probably not need to change the carpet. That's my website. If you want to take a look at the website, there's more stuff on there too. That's the back side of the house. And the subdivision behind it is called Willow Tree. Basically, the person that owns this property owned a lot of land behind it, but he did not want to sell this particular space, so he kept it for himself, and they built the subdivision around it. That's about it. The asking price is $115. So the telephone number, my phone number, is 803-618-3449. Text me and I can send you a link or more information about the property if you're interested. My name is Mark.
Would you like to put a card under the camera? Okay, is there anyone else, is this yours?
No, yeah, that's mine.
Okay, I'll just give everyone
I have a
Oh,
property.
hey, Mark, do you want your thing?
I have a property in St. Matthews, it's outside of St. Matthews. If anybody is
It's a
interested,
3.2 acres of land. You can do a lot with it.
anybody's interested,
Here, Mark.
Thanks.
Okay.
the area is about 95 on 15.
And for those who did
It
not,
just needs like a kitchen, I would
It's better.
The roof is new and HVAC is
actually, Dean Louise, if it's okay, you might want to come up here and announce that. Okay, this is Mark's info, in case anyone's interested. Oops. Am I doing that right? Yeah. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, who's next? Who's-
All right, Happy New Year, everybody. Let's see. Am I doing something wrong? Oh,
You stand on the
oh, there we go. Thank you.
You can move Mark's stuff if you want.
So hopefully you guys can see this, maybe not. There we go. Tell me when to stop. There we go. Take each one, teach one. All right, so. Perfect. Woo! We win. All right, so.
Upside down house to sell better.
All right, so this is a 3-2 in Northeast in the Pickwick subdivision, right off of, not mistaken, North Brickyard. This address here is 107 Pickwick Drive. It's in 29223. 1,428 square feet, but total square feet is 2,063. It does have a 400 plus detached garage in the back. Let's see here. Where I want to go. It is currently It does need some work, probably about maybe 15, but it's livable. Renter was in there maybe up until maybe about 30, 35 days ago. Checked it out today. Carpet paint, painting the cabinets, and good to go there. We thought there was a leak at one point, but we did get that resolved, and the property management showed us something that was stated that it was clear of any water damage and leak. Roof is not bad. However, that fence there, I took these photos, the outside of photos prior to the move out. This portion here is not there anymore. It's lean with it, rock with it, so it's on the ground. See, so get to the, here's that outside detached garage, of course. I want to get to the inside because really pressure washing, the deck could use some attention, but it's none of the boards are rotted or anything like that. All right, let's get to the inside here. We're coming. Here we go. There we go. So, your kitchen here. The cabinets just need painting, especially around where the knobs are. You can tell just a lot of touching and grab, greasy fingers kind of thing. So a deep clean, get rid of the wallpaper, new carpet. If you need a carpet guy, I got a great carpet guy who can really look out for you. I would like to, if you look in this area, you'll see that anything's going anywhere between $87 to about $91 a square foot. But willing to make a deal if anybody's not interested wholeheartedly in, with the purchase. I am looking for somebody to fund it. Do have a good deal on it, so I'm here all night. Now it has wallpaper. It was elegant at one point, but now it's a little drab. It was built in 1997. The total lot square footage is around about 4,600 square feet. So you do kind of have to drive around the back of the house to reach the detached garage, but it's not a bad inconvenience. Fairly small neighborhood. I would say maybe 40 houses in the neighborhood, maybe. 3-bedroom. The master's on the main, and the 2 upstairs bedrooms they're Jack and Jill. Pretty large bath up there. Laundry room, of course. That's the master. Yeah, I know. Look at the potential, not what you see. Okay?
Don't see.
So you think about it, it's really just needs some attention. Honestly, it doesn't smell bad at all. Honestly, carpet's just dirty, right? So you could be extreme cheap and try to clean it, or just replace it for about $2,100. This upstairs bathroom, large closets, a lot of extra closet space even downstairs. So not a bad layout either. So if anybody's interested, my name is Asa. That's ASA Presley, Pressly, but just call me Asa, ASA. And my number is 803-210-5945. I'm asking, good question. We're asking $83,500. Yeah, that's exactly. Say it out loud. It's not bad. So when you think about it, again, if you decide not to do it, roughly, I might hold on to it maybe about 10 business days, 10 working business days, and then make sure to find somebody to fund it for me. So that's the garage. Actually, the tenant that was here, his stepson lived in the garage. I mean, I think he had a small kitchen in there at one point, but it's pretty spacious as well. All right. Again, that's ASA 803-210-5945.
Did you want to put a call in the camera? Okay, is there anyone else with property that'd like to present to sell, or maybe tell us what you're looking for, or maybe a deal you did, a success story? Dean Louise has one in St. Matthews, I think.
All right. There we go.
Okay, this house is just outside of St. Matthews. It's closer to the lake. It has a new roof and HVAC built in '84, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. If anybody is interested, actually, if you go this way. There. Yep. Bob.
Yeah.
Phone number. I want the phone number. Pretty please. Keep going. There you go, right there.
Yeah, let me zoom out some. Is that any better? Okay. I'm afraid
If
to
anyone
touch
is
it.
interested in St. Matthews and in this property, just give me a call. It's out there, but it's a nice little place, in a very quiet setting, and it's just off of Colonel Thomas Highway and Fort Mott Road. What's the acre? It's an excellent question. We think it might be 1/4 acre, but we're not sure. We're working with the county assessor and surveyor to figure it out.
Is that a mobile home?
No, it is not a mobile home. It is a regular timber wood house, brick foundation.
Okay, are there any other houses people want to present for sale or properties? Tell us what you're looking for, or maybe,
I'll go, I have something helpful.
okay.
I'm JD with Midstate Property. We flip houses, basically, so we're looking to buy houses, generally 3.2s or above, generally within 30 minutes of Columbia. Generally we pay 70% of ARV minus repair. If you have any questions about ARV or repair, or what any of that means that I just said, just ask me, just let me know. My phone number is 803-727-8998. That's 727 Ocho Nueve Nueve Ocho. The Hispanic people aren't here tonight, so. But I have a lead. I always like to share contacts that I have since we do flip a lot of houses. I think we've flipped like 30 in the last 2 years, so I think that's a lot, but it's not like mutual fund a lot, but you know, in my little world, it's cool. But we buy all our stuff from Lowe's, but you don't have to. They are actually a partner of the REIA here, which is kind of cool. I don't know how to use that partnership, to be straight up with you. But my friend's the store manager, and I made friends with the district manager at Lowe's. So I'm sure he doesn't want me to give you guys all his cell phone number, but I'm sure all of you guys would like the district manager's cell phone number. It is his work phone, so like nights and weekends he just won't answer it, so I feel like it's fine to give to people, right? Does that sound cool? So his name is Clay. You can call him up like he's your best friend, just don't tell him I gave you his number. You can, and he'll be like, I hate that
You're Bob
joke.
Kim, right?
Joker. Yeah, yeah. In case you get that, my name's Bob Kim. His number is 803-543-3383. His name is Clay. His job is, if you ever go to like the Lowe's Pro Sales, right down at like the Pro Parking, which is where I park, it's where my parking spot is, inside the building by the, dumpster or whatever. You go in there, he's the boss of like all the pro sales employees in the entire district. From Newberry to Lugoff, Elgin, all the way out to whatever that's called, out past 6. They have a store over there, and everything in between, 385, which is the store number right here. So he's a really good guy to know. If you're doing flips, and I've worked with him a long time, and like a lot, because we have a decent amount of volume. And Lowe's cares, they want that volume, and they're trying to actively get their salespeople. I'm constantly telling people, and if I've seen you guys at Lowe's and you flip houses, I'm like, hey, come here. At this Harbison store right here, there's a guy named Sean. He's the black guy. Go talk to Sean. He's young. He looks young. He's been working there like 20 years. I'm like, how old are you, dude? You look like you're 25. Like, did you start working here as a fetus or something? Anyway, but Sean works over here. Like, they'll sign you up with, they have all these different programs, and they'll tell you about them, and they're generally free. They don't cost additional money. If you're doing anything over $1,000, they can submit it to QSP and get you a significant discount. Usually it's about 15% off. So there's all sorts of things to know. And Clay, it's kind of his job. So he'll probably direct you to somebody that's at the store that you like to go to. But I don't work for Lowe's. It's been a huge blessing to us having that Lowe's connection. So
Yeah, is it Lowe's or Home Depot?
it's Lowe's.
Can you give an example of something like Lowe's? Something that having Clay's information help you with, like a scenario, you know?
Well, first of all, he's the boss of all the people that when you walk in the store and they're being boneheads. I don't know if you guys have been to Lowe's or have ever had that experience. If they lose your stuff or give you the wrong thing, or you buy a shower surround and it's cracked and you return it, and then you buy a shower surround and it's cracked and you return it, and you buy a shower surround, it's cracked, so finally you open all the ones in the store and you buy the one that's not cracked. Waiving delivery fees for that. Their delivery is only $20 if you have a QSP. I don't know if it's because I have a QSP. They do have credit cards and credit lines that he can work with you to get, and if you don't have good credit or any business credit, they can do a secured line, which if you're a rehabber like myself, generally we get paid the rehab money up front on the loan. It's like, you know, our lenders pay for the house and they give us a rehab draw. So like I have money to buy whatever I need to buy at Lowe's to fix the house. It's kind of how this thing works. I can take that money and do a secured line with them. It's like I can give them $4 grand and then they'll give me a secured line for $4 grand. Well, I'm going to buy stuff at Lowe's. I'm going to buy more than $4 grand. There's a hint. So they'll help with all of that stuff. If there's any special order stuff, they have discounted stuff that's not, it's end of life. We'll buy that. They have a lot. Plus, he does this for a living. So if you got questions like what tile should I use here, he could probably help you out because this is what he does for a living. It's what I do for a living too. But he works there. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, oh, dude, no, this tile just went on sale. This is usually $3.70 a square right now. So, which is what we basically pay for tile, is 70 cents a square. So, LVT is a little bit more than that, but he's cut some of our. Once you establish volume, he could really work with you. So, like your first flip, he's probably not gonna do a whole heck of a lot for you. But the more you have a Lowe's account, they'll track that and they'll see. So then you do a couple houses, and you're like, listen, I've done 2 houses in the last year, but I'm about to scale up. I'm going to do more. Whatever it is, then they can kind of help you. So he's a really good guy to know. Does that answer your question? So if anybody has any questions about how to wholesale, or you got a wholesale deal you don't know what to do with, we wholesale as well, and flip houses and all that. So we're here to help. I'm JD. I know it said we, but I'm here to help. I can direct you who else needs to help you if I can. So thank you guys.
Okay, is there anyone else with a deal they'd like to present for sale? Maybe something, tell us what you're looking for, or maybe success story?
That's the 29203.
Oh, the previous one?
Yeah.
Hey, who had the 29203 house?
223?
Oh, 29223 house.
29203?
Okay, is it either Don or Ace?
Yeah, no, I have it right here.
Yeah, I'll get it to you. Yeah.
I don't have a deal, I'm just looking for a recommendation. I'm redoing my son's small bathroom, and I need an expert tape joiner. So if anybody knows somebody that does good tape joining, would you please let me know? Appreciate it. My name is Tom John. I'll be here to see me after the meeting. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Is there
Can I
anyone,
ask you a quick question? I apologize for this, but one of the people who paid a guest fee, I didn't get the name, and so the person who's not listed here, come up here please. Cyrus, I got yours. Harry, recap, I got yours, and Lucento Lewis Ellis. Whoever the 4th person was that gave me $20, if you could just let me know your name, please. Sorry about that.
okay, is there anyone else with a deal they'd like to present for sale, or tell us what you're looking for? Maybe a success story, something you did recently?
Share a success story.
Yeah, sure.
So, as of before, I think my partner's in the room here, Jay. I think Jay came in. So, I've been wholesaling for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And so for all the new wholesalers, 'cause I had a couple people say, hey, you know, I'm getting into wholesaling when I sat down. We purchased our second property mid-December for our second flip. And so we're not just wholesalers anymore. And we were able to get funding from locally from folks in different REIAs. Actually, one of the funders actually was in this REIA as well. So if you're a wholesaler and you're looking to get to the other side, know that all your resources are within these REIAs. Generally I go to all the REIAs that are locally, and I've either found buyers, other wholesalers, or like I said, my partner, we met in construction class, and I think we've done 7 or 8 deals together so far. So just know that everything that you need to be successful in this business is in this room right here. I call Bob all the time. Sometimes Bob will stop answering my calls. Bob's like, hey, come on. Andy, Eddie, you know, Eddie's actually I got a rental property that I live in now that I got subject to, and Eddie's been helping me get that together so that I can move out and put a renter in. And I did all that in the course of less than 2 years. Being in real estate, I do this full time, and that's it. I don't have another job. This is all I do. So just know that it's possible, because I don't have any special background or any special information. It's just I get out here and work. So
You work very hard.
and that's something that anybody can do. So.
Crandon said something's pretty important. There's other REIAs in the area. Make sure you go to them. You know, build your networks, okay? Because you never know who you're going to run into. Thank you, Crandon. Is there anyone else who'd like to present a deal for sale, or maybe something they're looking for, maybe success story?
I saw my flip.
Did you? Oh, that's
If anybody was here, I guess December, maybe November, I closed on my flip on the 3rd, so.
That's Kristen Johnson and Blair Koblisky. In case anyone
Blair's
wants to know.
fine, I'm like Cher, one name.
Okay, Blair and Kristen are 2 up-and-coming people to learn from, so just heads up. And I know you two have done something, Contis have done something too. So, okay, well, is there anything else anyone would like to present?
Just one last thing. I moved here last year. I joined REIA last March. I've been in real estate for about 5 years. And as a new person in South Carolina, I had my best year of real estate, and so many of the resources and leads and houses have come through this REIA group, so I want to say thank you.
Don, you're from Alaska, right?
Correct.
Okay. So is Delaney. You guys might want to talk. Okay, is there anyone else who has a deal they'd like to present?
Well, it's not a deal, but my name is Matt Hawkins, my wife's Amelia. We're just trying to get a feel for what this is about and learn. But we also do residential new construction renovations on the side. So if y'all ever need any advice or have any questions, I can give out our number and y'all can call us, or if you have a job, you can call us.
Do we speak earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You might want to talk to Tom. He's looking for
I know.
drywall.
I'll get you a little later.
Okay.
What's your number?
It's 803-727-3344.
Get out my number, I was like.
Yeah, what's your name?
Matt Hawkins. And that's actually her number.
I was about to say, but you said your number was 804.
Yeah, Amelia.
Yeah, that's our business line, so you'll get that first. But.
Thank y'all for letting us join you.
I'm glad you can make it. Okay, is there anyone else with a deal they'd like to show before we launch into the normal intro? Well, slightly different intro. Or anyone else have a deal they'd like to present? Come on up, Sonny.
Well, I don't know what to present, but I am looking for any wholesalers or whatever, but I'm looking for a condo or a house downtown, somewhere 3-2 or 2-2 downtown. And I'm looking for I'm sorry?
Do you have a card? We've got one under here.
I do. And I'm also looking somewhere in the immediate in Columbia, preferably not Lexington, but looking for something in the Columbia area, 3-2, minimum 1,500 square feet, cash deal. So if you know anybody that has one, interested in wholesalers, anybody wants to do that, I'm looking for 2 houses, so if you'll give me a holler and let me know, I would appreciate it. And this summer. Huh? Yes, yeah. I spoke at the Leon thing, so.
Okay, so he's a cash buyer, so he's something you want, someone might want to add to your list.
Are you looking for turnkey or are you looking for
No, I prefer rough shape. So, for the one in the northeast, or the other one is something downtown. 0059 727.
Okay, is there anyone else with a deal they'd like to present? Something, tell us what you're looking for, maybe a success story?
Yeah, I got some.
Okay.
Hey, my name's John, new real estate agent. It's been about 3 months. Where is this? Oh. It is harder than it looks. There it is. This past weekend I did open house, and I got a client for my first time, and got something under contract right now, and we're still working on that. But we're set to close in about 2 weeks, so pretty proud of that. But thank you. It's been a long time coming. But yeah, it says right there, investor friendly. So if you, so that's why I'm here. So I'm looking to invest, looking to wholesale, looking to retail sales, like whatever. If you need a realtor, I'm your man.
What is
Thank
the
you.
phone? What is the phone number?
It's 516 area code 849-8158. I got a bunch more cards if you want. Yeah, you can take that. Thank you.
Y'all finished?
Okay, anyone else? Okay, I think that's a no. Okay. Let's get into this. So we're a little bit, maybe a little behind. Okay, as I mentioned, there's several associations in the area. We are one of several. Midlands REIA. Now, we had a change. We used to meet every second Thursday of the month. Now we're meeting every second Monday of the month. Now, if you could, please silence your cell phones. Each year, if your cell phone goes off, well, we take $5 from the oops jar, and in the end it goes to charity. And I think we had like $20 this past year, and 15 years went by. Anyway. Okay, photos and video may be captured here mainly for social media and whatnot. And if this recording doesn't crap out on me, this will also be posted on our website. Liability. We are not licensed attorneys, or at least I don't see one attorney here, or financial experts or anything like that. This is all from personal experience and whatnot. So anything, if you question the legal or financial wisdom of anything you hear at this meeting, by all means ask qualified help, because I don't see anyone here who's really licensed in those areas. Well, we do have a financial analyst back there, but I don't know if he's willing to offer his advice. So I still owe you that dollar bet. I forgot all about that. Okay, from our December holiday party, we had something on the screen, and we're looking at this to see what can we improve on. We asked, one of the questions we asked was, what would you like to see? Like, for example, I see syndication. Okay, you're right, we didn't cover that. Right? What that is legally pooling the money. We're going to bring in a syndication person. Also, wraparound mortgages. Those, we're going to probably hold a workshop with regards to subject to. Wraparound mortgages are very handy for those. But if you see anything where we can make an improvement, please let us know. Okay, we always want to make this place a little better for you. Now, we had, last year I'd been saying, repeatedly, each meeting, there's only about a 3% success rate of a person doing a single deal the way they get in real estate, like what we're doing now. And this was on Facebook. yesterday. Okay, apparently, and I'd heard that from national speakers. I've never been able to verify that anywhere else. I mean, in terms of like official verification. This guy here apparently heard the same thing. So he's posting that only 3% ever do a single deal. 97% is your failure rate in people who get into real estate this way. And anyway, now there's a reason for that, and I'll show you in the next slide here. But now, one of our goals is to maybe have more workshops as well as more or better subgroups. We have a couple subgroups going now. We'd like to kick those in the butt and get those things going. Okay, one's Hidden Markets, which Dean Louise is running, and the other one is a mortgage notes group. We got to get that one going, right? So we're going to really emphasize on subgroups and training outside of the association if you still want to participate in those. One thing I should caution you about is you're going to see outside gurus come to town, and even some local gurus who are going to charge you thousands of dollars. Okay, now they're going to ask you to put on your credit card, or maybe they're going to bring in a company like Seed Capital. Okay, if you look them up, they provide like relatively easy credit. You know, it's basically like getting another credit card. And then the guru tells you to put all his training, like $25,000 or more, on that credit. Now, remember that 97% failure rate. Okay? Now, the gurus don't care because they have their money. But if you don't do a single deal, you're still stuck with all that debt. Now, this is not a difficult business. Right? But if you do something like that, earn your money first. Don't put it on credit. Don't let some guru sucker you into putting it on credit. Right? Earn it first, and then decide, don't want to put it on credit. All right? People like Crandon and Jay, they're doing deals. They never signed up for any of this stuff. I seriously doubt they will. Now, some people, it has helped, but be cautious. One of our goals of this year, last year we had it at 20%. I'd like to raise that to 50%. I never got a formal survey out, but from the response in the room, I'm sure we met that 20%. Okay, when we asked at the holiday party, if you will, almost everyone raised a hand when we said they did a deal. So, for the beginners, those who are relatively new, actually very new, we want to get you up and running independently from anyone else as soon as possible. That's one of the goals of this association. Now, we'd love to have you as repeat members year after year, but at the same time, that's probably not practical, okay, because you move and whatnot, okay? But we want to make it so that you're running, so you don't need anyone like us or anyone else, okay? You can do this on your own anywhere, even in, say, Alaska, okay? For the advanced investors, we want to provide the best possible continuing resources that we can. Now, why the low success rate? I think it's because it's easy in, easy out. It's too easy to give up, you know? In fact, we've had some people, they joined our association to become, investors. And it turns out they got their licenses because they thought it'd help as an investor, and they decided, hey, I'd rather be a realtor. So they just became realtors, and they're doing just fine. And that's okay. But nevertheless, look at what you're doing and seeing if what you're doing is contributing to your success or to failure. I use the word failure kind of loosely because it's not really failure if you just learn from it. But you can see along this timeline here, okay, some of you have to be patient, all right? People like Crandon and Jay, they took off relatively quickly, and I'm glad they did. But you can see along this timeline here, success and failure can look awfully similar. And some people give up too early. And I think that's what also contributes to the success rate, okay? So just keep the faith, you'll get it. I heard, this is from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you can always give up, so why give up now, okay? Now, good club or association, whether it's this one or any other one, will offer an abundance of resources, and we're always trying to provide more. It will provide great networking, and will give the best training possible, and we're always seeking to improve and adapt. As I mentioned before, you let us know what can we do better. And we learn and teach the best practices for local investors. All right? For those of you who are here for the Legal Shield session, I can remember I was showing you how I use Legal Shield to legally extort money from attorneys. I'm not saying that's a good practice, I'm just saying it can be done. Okay? So, anyway, here we give national We give discounts to national vendors and supply houses as a member. Discounts on Midlands REIA trainings and workshops. Now, we're actually going to have a workshop, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. That's going to be free to members. No door fee to general meetings, and we give access to members area with local cash buyers. Now, one thing that gets me is the gurus come to town, and if you do sign into their coaching programs, they make you look for a buyer, make a buyer's list. They're doing that just to keep you busy, make you think you earned their fee. You find a good deal, they're buyers everywhere. Nevertheless, in the members area, we have at least 50 cash buyers with their phone numbers. Also documents, the documents are court proven. Videos and other resources. The videos, we just started putting them in. All right, so that's a little sparse right now, but we're going to continue that. Also, close guidance for deals. We have several people here who, this association is like a library, okay? Does anyone have like a library card at the Richmond Library? It's one of the best in the nation, all right? So we're kind of like reference librarians, okay? This whole coaching thing, you don't need a coach to do this business. You need maybe a little bit of guidance and a bunch of resources, in my opinion. So there's several people here like Andy back there, Eddie, Dean Louise, of course, George, and JD. They've all volunteered to be reference librarians here. So if you need resources to get your deals done, we're not going to do the work for you, but we'll give you a little bit of guidance, you know, where to get the resources you need, whatnot, the knowledge. By the way, that's a Midlands REIA thing. That's not a national thing. So we're going to sell coaching programs. Okay, suggestions how to improve. If you can think of workshops, topics, or subgroups that you'd like to see, let us know. Right? If it's something reasonable, you know, like we're not going to form an anti-gravity subgroup. Okay, if it's something reasonable that we can do, we'll do our best to do it for you. Now we are on local, we are on social media. If nothing else, join the Midlands REIA Money Mastermind group on Facebook. This is where a lot of deals are being flipped back and forth and whatnot, as well as resources. And people are asking for, oh, by the way, you don't have to necessarily write this down. It's also on the right side of our website. It came red, but you want to write that down too. But this is also where people are asking opinions or suggestions or even guidance of each other. I think it's a great group. Does anyone have that? Okay, as I mentioned, we have a cash buyers list. When you log in, if you don't log in, you'll just see one thing that says log in, log out. When you log in, you'll see a drop down of what we have here, like our documents, templates, and whatnot, and cash buyers. There. So that's how you use the members area. Okay, as I mentioned, annual membership here is $125 a year for single and $200 for a couple. With that, you get, well, I say free, but of course it's with membership. Entrance with all the benefits. For non-members, the first visit is free with the door fee afterwards. And it's $20 at the door with no benefits if you're not an annual member here. But you can apply your door fee that night to your membership should you decide you want to join. Okay, but like I do caution you again, before you join this one, there are other REIAs out there that are free. You might be able to get it for free, the knowledge to start flipping houses or whatnot, whatever you want to do. So check them out first before you join this one. Okay, so if you join this one, we're going to do our darndest to make sure you get your money's worth, but at the same time, why pay anything if you can get the knowledge for free? All right. A few announcements. Okay, Dean Louise's book corner. Dean Louise, can you come up?
I figured that with tonight's topic being business, this book would be the perfect thing to put in. Mike Mikulowicz talks about how you pay yourself first and you can watch your business grow. It's counterintuitive because everybody is taught you need to pay your bills first, pay your employees first, and then if there's any money left over in the pot, then you might get to take something home. He's turning that upside down. You pay yourself first, you pay your shareholders, you pay your bills, and all of that last. The idea is that you will streamline your business, because if you don't have the money to pay the bills, like, okay, I gotta cut. So it makes a leaner business for you. You figure out ways to tighten up the expenses while still making a profit for yourself. Now, we're not talking thousands of dollars profit. You start small. But the idea is once it starts and you see it growing and you see it happening, you get motivated to do more, to do better, and your business will grow. And he has said that people who have followed his plan, their businesses grow much, much faster than traditional marketing or traditional. And this it's a cash management system. It's not magical accounting or anything like that. It's how you see your cash. It's how you perceive it and how you make it work for you. And so this is an excellent book. I'm reading it again, and I am definitely going to be changing the way that I do things. And I highly recommend it. I'll have it back if anybody wants to actually see it for themselves. Okay? Okay, the Palmetto, do you have the flyer for the other two? Okay. Well, no, I didn't know if you had a slide. You have a slide. Okay, so for this one, let's go back. So, Palmetto Civitan Club, we are really taking off this year. We're trying to get more members. If you or anyone you know has family member or friend or anybody that has a special needs child or at some point had a special needs child, let them know that we exist. We need members, and we have some really fun projects that we do for the community. This is a fundraiser. We have a pancake breakfast. It's coming up February 22nd. It's going to be at the Fast Cafe on East Main. $10 for adults, $5 for children. If you want to go, or if you want to just donate, or if you want to buy tickets, I've got tickets in the back. This goes to help fund things like we are doing the Awesome Gym. It is a specially designed gym, playground, indoor, that was designed for special needs. So it has a room for sensory, when kids are in sensory overload, and they can go in there to quiet down, find some peace. They've got special equipment, and it's a lot of fun. We're going to provide 2 hours free for the families and their children to come, and that's what this Pancake Breakfast helps to support that. And that the Awesome Gym Day is going to be January 26th from 5 to 7. If anyone is interested in volunteering or again supporting or donating, please come see me afterwards. It's a wonderful organization and it's a great cause. The main purpose of Civitan is to help to fund the research, the CERC Center, which is a research center in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. And they are doing all sorts of research for neurological disorders. And they've been making great progress, and they've been in existence since, I want to say, the 20s or 30s. So if you want more information, just come see me, okay? Do you have a question?
The Awesome Gym, just so people may not know, is right over here in Harbison area, right by the Home Depot. So if you know a family with a special needs child, maybe you want to go visit it, right over here in Harbison. Right nearby.
Thanks to you, Lucy.
Oh, and as you leave, please give me name badges for those of you who got name badges. Next time we'll have name badges for all the members then. We finally got them. So, but if you just return the ones that you did get, those are you. Thank you.
Okay. Now, every month we give what's called Mike Green Technology Minute. There's the West Columbia City Councilman came up with this idea. He said, why don't you give like a website or some resource that's free or maybe very inexpensive that might help us. So in this case here, gradeschools.org. There's actually another one, schooldigger.com, I think. But Grade School seems to be a little more objective. School Digger is more of a crowdsourced website where people give their opinions. This one here has some kind of metrics that they rate a school on. So take a look at this one as well. I think you'll find some pretty useful information, especially if you have kids, entering public schools, or maybe you think of moving to location. Now, again, you don't have to write down or take pictures of any of these events. We have them on the calendar. We keep the calendar of events on the website as up to date as possible. And for those of you who are writing down the Money Mastermind group on Facebook, the link, this on our website goes to that group and goes to that Facebook group, okay? Okay, first of all, women in real estate. There's a meeting. What's today? Today's 13th. Okay, looks like they have one this coming Saturday. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So Stacy Pinckney's a realtor, but she's also an investor. Okay, she's a player. So now this is for women. All right. So I know you're taking pictures, but this is for women.
Say my sister.
So, this is a great place to network. All right. So anyway, consider going to that one. This is also in the calendar of events. Sarah Mitchell, as I mentioned, Midlands REIA is partnering with Legal Shield because of all the legal issues that have been popping up lately. I've had my share of them. Anyway, January 23rd, Thursday, she has a luncheon from 11:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's first time attendees get a free lunch. So worst comes to worst, you get a free lunch. It's to teach also how Legal Shield can help your business. And that's also on the calendar of events. Columbia Real Estate Investors Association. Okay, this is one of the REIAs that we like to work closely with. There's some great folks in there. And there's Rick here. Oh, okay. Rick is watching the Clemson LSU games. He had to leave early. But anyway, their meetings right now, they may change it, but right now is every fourth Thursday of the month. The next one is January 23rd, 7 o'clock. This is also on our calendar of events. By the way, the next meeting is going to feature the basics of wholesaling for those who want to go. Okay. Rehab and inspection and estimating workshop. We have our contractor, Eddie, back there? Yeah. Okay. We have Eddie back there. He's going to be holding this one. It's okay, January 25th. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. All right, now, Eddie and Jay are supposed to close on a rehab Wednesday. If they close on that one, that's the one we're going to. Okay? Anyway, we'll let you know. But the date and times are definite. Now, Midlands REIA member, so they get priority and they're free for members. Non-members, it's $40 directly to Eddie. Okay, to help pay for a little bit of his time. All right? And we have to limit attendance to 15 people. We held one, and it was like 27 or 28 people. It was like a zoo. We got a little bit out of hand. All right? Now, if you're interested, I didn't have a sign-up sheet. Dean Louise, could you maybe make a quick sign-up sheet?
Yes.
Okay. Please see Dean Louise if you're interested in going there. Eddie always gives a great workshop, by the way.
And what it is, I'm not trying to solicit your work, but what I'm trying to do, Bob and I are trying to help you do a successful rehab. You know, if you want to work as your own contractor, because what we see is a lot of people, they just hire people and then it's a mess. So we're trying to tell you how to go through the hiring process, how to vet your contract, what you're looking for. So it's a fairly informative workshop, and what we really focus on is what I call the critical path method. What to do first. You know, you got to go in a certain order. You just can't bring 8 people in there and just go to town on it. You can't have subs on top of subs. It never works out. So, and we're going to have some really good handouts with all the information. So something you can take with you, and because you hear a lot of it, the subs. They always blame the subs. I always blame the person who hires the subs, or the contractors, whoever you call it. You hire a dummy, you know how that goes.
Thank you. Okay, now, every month, the last Friday of each month, Deborah Wanger holds a ladies networking lunch. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. 1 o'clock East Bay Deli, and most of the time, you do need to RSVP. There are some months when we don't meet, just depending on what the interest is, and we have it's an informal discussion of ladies involved in real estate, and sometimes we have special programs, like attorneys will invite us over to tell us more about their services, and we're able to ask questions, and just a variety of different topics just for ladies. So this month is at East Bay Deli at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Deborah. By the way, Deborah's being modest. She's actually quite the business person. She manages like over 80 trailers or something like that. And I mean, I have one trailer. And I used to have a full head of hair before I got that trailer. So imagine what Deborah.
Actually, I have my boss just of one company just gave me a new goal. I have over 100 properties now, but his goal in the next 5 years are 250. So if he's got money, he's ready to buy, you just let me know. I've taken a few notes from a few of you this evening, and I'll be in touch.
Thank you, Deborah. See, if I was without a sex change operation, I'd go to those meetings. It's definitely a good thing to go to. Yeah. Very valuable resource.
It's 2020, by
Okay, as I mentioned, all of this is on our calendar of events. We'll try to keep that updated each month. Okay, tonight's speakers. We have a treat tonight. We have two local experts here. They know how this business works in our markets. We have Ann Holland from Flexible Focus, who will speak first. She's a recruiting and human resources wizard. Okay? One of the contractors I hired down in Aiken, and I hired badly. It took me for $35,000. Okay, if I knew what Ann knows, that wouldn't happen. Right? Anyway, but Ann has 18 years of experience working in human resources, so she kind of knows a little bit about human nature, and she's definitely a valuable resource to anyone here. And the second speaker, Tim Bradford. This guy's been running businesses, wow, I don't know how long, for a quarter of a century. Okay, he's very well sought out also as a speaker on running small businesses and entrepreneurship. But if it's okay, we have Ann come up first. And let me
Okay, perfect. All right. Good evening. So I know the meeting's running just a tad long, so I'll kind of scoot through my section, but I'm Ann Holland with Flexible Focus. I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. So I have about 18 years of HR experience in corporate America, anywhere from a site manufacturing facility to a regional manager on into corporate. So kind of seen it all, experienced it all, can tell some war stories. So it's been a wild ride. Left corporate America at the end of 2018 to start my consulting company. I've been working really with small businesses over the past year. Small businesses, nonprofits. So seeing kind of a different side of business, but do have some small business experience myself. My dad had 2 small businesses growing up that I was very involved in from all different levels, and then my husband and I have 4 different real estate companies that we kind of work with locally. So know both sides, the corporate side and the small business side. So when you think of human resources, what do you think of? What comes to mind? Paychecks, okay, that can definitely fall under HR. Anything else? Employees, yeah. Anything else? Oh, complaints is a big one. Yes, absolutely.
Catbird from Gilbert Comics.
Okay, yeah, there's some really good ones on that. Absolutely.
Hiring and firing.
Hiring and firing. Oh yeah, benefits. Yeah. So HR is kind of involved in a little bit of everything that a company does. Even though we're a function in the business that has specialties, we also are a resource to all of the other different departments within a business. So any small business owners in here that has a business up and running now? Okay, quite a few. And then anybody have employees other than yourself? A few, okay. What numbers are we talking about? Like how many employees do y'all have?
12.
Well, okay. How many? 4? Okay. All right, we'll be going over just a little bit of the different numbers and kind of what that means from a policy perspective in just a little bit. And what's been some of your top HR issues that you've had recently, or you're thinking you may have into 2020? Can you find good talent, or has that been an issue?
How about people not doing the work that you contracted them for?
Oh, yes. If everybody could just read our mind and know exactly what we expect of them, that would be great. Yeah, we'll touch on that just a little bit in the presentation, but yes, that's a big one. Anything else come to mind that you're struggling with?
Healthcare.
Healthcare, okay, yeah, that's a big one.
There you go, that's the word.
We won't be dealing with that too much here, but if you have any questions after the presentation, please reach out and I can help you in certain areas at least. All right, so these are kind of a big example of what HR does. So we definitely covered quite a bit of it. I'm not going to go into individual ones, but a lot of it, you know, policy development, making sure that we set expectations for employees and then hold them accountable. And in doing that, we have to make sure that we communicate effectively with them and follow up. Conflict management is one that we definitely do because, you know, we're dealing with humans. So obviously there's going to be some conflicts there on different levels. Hire, fire, do all kinds of performance management, a little bit of everything. And I want to just kind of note here, the Department of Labor oversees and enforces more than 180 federal laws. Now all that's not going to be just for small businesses. A lot of that involves contractors and the public sector, but that just kind of shows the breadth of knowledge you need to have in HR when it comes to what you need to know and don't need to know, or need to know and know how to handle on a daily basis. So I'm going to quickly just circle through the employee life cycle. So you start with strategy, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit, but strategy is going to really tell you where you are, where you need to go in the future, and what you need to get there. You know, you get in the car and you're driving to the West Coast. You're not going to just go on your own unless you're out for a joyride. You're going to make sure you have a map and some sort of plan on how to get there. And that's what the strategy does for a business. Really helps you focus in on what you need, whether it's 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, or a little bit longer. You then want to attract employees. So the recruiting process starts the recruiting, where you're talking about going through interviews, looking through resumes, seeing what candidates are out there. Onboarding, so that's when you actually hire somebody and they start with your company. As part of like a probationary period, it's kind of the old school term for that, but now it's onboarding. Go through learning and development, so really seeing what skills they have, what the employees need in the future, and make sure that you make that available to them. Rewards, recognition, and benefits, huge part of why you not only attract employees, but actually retain them. Go through progression and performance, really make sure on the performance management side that you're understanding what the employee needs from the company and what the company needs from the employee. And then the retain and then the exit part, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. So that's kind of when you talk about all of HR and the employee cycle, that's what we're referring to. So today we're going to really cover just a tad bit on strategy. We'll talk about recruiting, and then I'm going to kind of give you the top 10 issues that I see really in small businesses and how to avoid them or make them more successful than some of the examples I've seen over the past year. So I'm not going to spend too much time on strategy because there's just a few people in the room that actually have a small business, but this is a really key slide. You know, we all throw around these words every day, you know, whether it's value or mission or strategic goals or, you know, what are we wanting to do and how are we wanting to get there. And this really divides it up when you're talking about time frame. So if you look on the left side, you're going to see like tactics are usually what you're needing within 1 year. You go up to the strategic goals, which are 1 to 5 years. So when you're planning, you're going to make sure you plan these based on somewhat of a time frame. And it doesn't have to be the exact time frame, but at least you're looking whether it's short term within a year or a little bit longer out in the future. And these are some of the questions that you're going to kind of ask in each little stage. So whether it's tactics that might change every 6 months or every year at least. Those are going to be something that depends on the market, depends on your company. Those are going to be some of the things that aren't really set in stone. But as you move up, they're a little bit more set in stone. Where you get to values, those are like your must-have, set in stone, not going to change. And you really need to know that as a small business owner on what do you stand for? What are you really here doing business for? What's your competitive advantage? All of those questions you can ask yourself, and that's going to really help you going forward when you're starting to recruit, as well as position yourself on an HR basis. Any questions on this, or I'm going to quickly move on to try to speed up the presentation, but if you have questions, please let me know. So I put this slide, I labeled it as recruit, but I know there's a lot of people in here that also have partnered with other people, and in some of the cases these are going to apply also. So, the do's of recruiting, focus on a cultural fit. So when you're hiring somebody, you really want to make sure it's a person that you want to work with every day, especially as a small business. That's also the same of whether you're partnering with someone on a deal, whether it's wholesale or flipping or whatever the case is. You also want to know what your must-have skills are. So if you, see what, like maybe you're wholesaling now, want to get into flipping in the future, make sure you hire somebody that maybe has some sort of understanding on the construction and rehab cost or how that process actually works. That would be very beneficial. There's some other skills that you may or may not actually need, but the must-have skills you really want to focus on. Also, be ready to hire before you think you are. So I've seen so many cases, especially recently in such a tight market that we have now, where people are going out to hire and they feel like they're pushed in the corner where they have to just hire somebody really quick because they need somebody in place. And in doing that, you might not get the best candidate that you're looking for. It might be someone that you just, maybe has some of what you're looking for, but not the exact fit. So really make sure that you're planning ahead and you allow yourself enough time to really vet candidates and make sure you go through the process properly so you can understand and get the best candidate in the end for you and your small business. Also set expectations and be transparent. So, if you're a small company that you're trying to get off the ground, you're hoping for success in the next few years, but you're not quite sure of what that's going to look like, be very transparent with the candidate and let them know that so they're not coming in with really high expectations. Because if you don't set the proper expectations, they're going to be out the door really quick. We all want, expectations and be able to go into something that we can kind of see what it looks like, and don't set the expectations too high. And also stand out, highlight your competitive advantage. So as a small business owner, it's really hard to recruit when you're talking about some of the big companies we have locally, but not every candidate's looking for that. So whether or not you can, recruit somebody at the highest salary range, you might can't. You might can't compete with some of the other industry in the area. But you maybe can offer flexibility, a work-life balance that some of the other companies can't. So really focus in on what really is your competitive advantage and what you really can offer a candidate that's a little bit different than some of the other companies in the area. Some of the don'ts, so don't discriminate. We all hopefully will know that. And don't ask illegal questions in interviews. And I'm going to go over that in just a minute in a little bit more detail. Don't overpromise or paint a rosy picture, which is what I just talked about. And then just keep in the back of your mind, bad hires on average cost a company $17,000 just because of the lack of time, or the time it takes, the training that you put in, the downtime because they've left the company and now you're having to cover it, or another employee's having to cover it. So that's a really big expense for a company, especially if you start multiplying that by a few different hires and not just a single hire like I stated here. Don't assume an employee knows, so take time to train, especially right when they come on board. They obviously should have some knowledge about whatever you're hiring for, but you need to at least make sure you're training them on what your company stands for and how you want to do it, as the processes that are in your company. And don't hire by doing a favor to friends and family. If they're the right candidate, they're the right candidate, but it shouldn't be because they know so-and-so or they're related to so-and-so. I've seen some huge issues and some legal issues because somebody was trying to do a favor. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, we're running businesses and we've got to make sure we're doing the best for our business and ourselves. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So I'm going to jump straight into the top 10 mistakes that I see small businesses do from the HR perspective. The number one is assuming as an owner that you can handle all the HR responsibilities. You maybe can. It depends on your background, but I would advise you to get proper training. The training can be free. The training can be on a variety of resources that I've got listed at the end of this presentation, but you at least need to educate yourself. Laws are changing almost daily. I just got a notice today that there was some legal changes around co-employment. So it's at least weekly that HR laws are changing. So as a business owner, we're all involved doing 100 other things. Sometimes HR kind of gets lower and lower on the list, and unfortunately that doesn't need to happen. So either make sure you get proper training or make sure you reach out and get some support from someone that's qualified to do it. Second assumption is making sure like an administrative assistant or an office manager can handle it without any training. You know, administrative assistants, office managers all bring in a great skill set, and some of it is very close to what HR does in a variety of ways. But if they don't have the knowledge and education of HR and the HR laws, then you know it's going to end up being frustration for them as well as potentially get you in some legal trouble. So I'd recommend if you do appoint office manager or administrative assistant as the one to be the HR contact, that make sure you get them the proper training also. 3 is understanding and properly administering payroll practices. So there's so many different changes to the payroll processes depending on what kind of employees you have, whether they're 1099 contractors, whether they're hourly or salary. So I would really make sure that you understand all of the different laws around payroll. There's a new salary change that just went into effect January 1st. So if you have any salaried employees, you really need to make sure you do an assessment and make sure that they're still categorized correctly. So there's some additional training there and information that you can go to for that. And then make sure you have the right designation of whether an employee, whether a person is an employee or a 1099 contractor. Rule of thumb is if you are telling this person anything like when to show up, what they need to do while they're there, they're going to be an employee and not a contractor. A contractor is usually someone that has the autonomy to be able to do whatever they want at any time as long as they fulfill whatever your contract with them says. You know, come in and put up a roof, but you don't care when they show up, you don't care what materials they use, you don't care how they do it, you know, that kind of thing. So you really need to assess whether a person's an employee or a contractor, independent contractor. Number 5 is not having the correct employee documentation. So put together a quick list of what needs to be in an employee file. So you'll see here like resume or application, I-9s, reviews, or any kind of performance evaluation, training verification, and payroll information, especially your W-4. And you need to keep medical information and I-9 separate. So that's just a legal issue, so make sure you have 3 files for everybody, or you can have your I-9s in a separate place altogether, but those need to be kept separate from the employee files. Number 6 is not having the labor law posters posted and posted in the right place. So the posters need to be in a place where candidates are coming in. So if you have a lobby, that's usually the best place. If you have candidates coming in, they're going to ask for an application or drop off a resume. That's going to be the area you want it to be. You don't need it to be in a break room that nobody ever sees as a candidate, or even in maybe a owner's office that the candidates might not ever see. So make sure it's in a designated area that they can view. Number 7 is lack of documented policies for consistency, or if you have them, make sure that you update them. So in this we're mostly talking about an employee handbook. And I've got a quick slide at the end that'll tell you kind of number of employees versus really what you need or don't need. But having some basic policies is needed from federal law and state law compliance, as well as just making sure that you treat employees consistently on a variety of other areas, whether it's attendance or vacation policy, sick leave, how do you handle bereavement, those kind of general policies, making sure that they're handled appropriately and consistently across the board. We hit on it a little bit earlier, but I'll go on and review it again. We're asking illegal questions during the interview process. So I've been involved in a lot of different hires for small businesses as just a third party, and I cringe at some of the questions that small business owners ask. So anything that could be discriminatory cannot be asked. So if you ask like, hey, when did you graduate high school? Well, in that question, you can pretty much work out what age an employee is. So that could be a discriminatory question. What country are you from? That could be a nationality issue. Do you have any children? You can't ask anything about the family planning stage, because that could be an issue. Yeah.
And that is huge. Number 8 is huge. That is. There's a list probably, you probably have.
Yeah, I've got that as a resource.
45, maybe 40 different things that you shouldn't say to people. And you're right, you'll be sitting in a meeting or something like that, and you hear people ask these questions, and you just think you're just asking for a lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know, but you can't even ask if a person has a driver's license or if a person has a car. All you can ask is, do you have a plan on how you can come to work? It doesn't matter if they have a car or not. They can call an Uber, they can call a taxi, they can call a friend, whatever the case is. So you really have to watch in what you ask in an interview. So number 9 is not handling conflict or performance issues in a timely manner. Back to your statement there, a lot of what we deal with is conflict and conflict resolution. And if you don't handle it in a timely manner, it's going to just fester, and a small problem is going to end up huge in a very short time. So make sure that you're handling whatever the issue is in a timely manner. And then the last one is changing and growing with the trends. So make sure you're keeping up with your industry, the local market. We've seen in this area, the Columbia, that we're at sub 5% unemployment rate, which is crazy when it comes to hiring. You're really having to kind of be creative and come up with different little tricks or different benefits for the candidates nowadays. So really just understand your market and make sure you grow with it. We're not in the same environment that we were even 5 years ago, much less 10, 15, 20. So you have to keep on making sure you understand where the future's going in your industry, especially, and in that area. Oh, sorry, wrong way. So this is a slide I was talking about earlier about when policies are needed. So as an owner, just yourself, you don't really need any policies in place. As soon as you hire one employee, you're going to need some basic employee practices, some understanding to make sure you follow the EEOC law and the Fair Labor Standard Act, which is everything to do with pay. When you hit 15 employees, that's when it gets really tricky. You're starting to talk about the ADA, which is the American Disability Act, and then also getting into the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, along with quite a few more. These are just kind of the big ones. So when you're strategizing and you're really planning for the future, understand, it might be you want to stay under 15 employees because you don't want to deal with the other headaches and some of the other systems and processes that you have to have in place. Or it might be completely worth it to you to, sub out some of it and keep rolling and growing your business. At 20, some other ones come into play, COBRA, so continuation of benefits, age discrimination, and then the Older Worker Benefit Protection Act. These are all some kind of triggers in various situations, but it can get pretty interesting. One of the last projects I did at Doncaster's was we triggered the Older Worker Benefit Protection Act, and oh my gosh, that was a nightmare, dealing with 8 different states, and it was tough even for a corporate company, so.
What is the
Yes.
age of an older worker?
So in dealing with certain aspects of a workforce, when you're starting to downsize a company, if you trigger a certain amount, it depends on the industry of what that percentage is, you have to make sure that you're very transparent in the number of employees per position that you're laying off. And then at 50 employees, you're triggering FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act. So again, recommend if you have 2 employees or more, you have some sort of handbook. Depending on the size will depend on how many policies you need in that handbook. Here's a resource guide. So any of the information I talked about today, for the most part, is going to be on here. So if you need labor law postings for free, you can find them all online. They have them in English, Spanish, and quite a few other languages. South Carolina LLR is a really good resource also. And then the Small Business Association has a Learning Center page that's got some great training on it for free. Good article from the Hartford on what to do and not do when hiring, so that's a good resource to have. SHRM is the Society of Human Resource Management, so they're the ones that's certifying HR professionals in the field. So a huge amount of information there. And then HR.com is a free resource where you can go and get updated information, forms, policies, etc. So another good resource kind of to have as a small business owner. So, I know I kind of went through that really quick, a lot of information. Hopefully it was helpful. And do you have any questions? All right, so there's my information. If you have any questions following the presentation, please reach out, and I'll be glad to assist you. And thank you very much. Oh, that'd have been all right.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Okay, we have a second speaker as well to contribute to tonight's knowledge base, if you will. Okay, Tim. That's supposed to be told?
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
How's everybody? We're going to zip through this because everybody wants to watch the game. So, if she'd have kept talking 10 more minutes, I bet there'd have been me and 5 people in the room. Chick-fil-A's giving away free nuggets all month. Okay, just FYI, that's important. We're going to go through this quickly, but if you've ever been in a presentation with me or on the radio or anything, all my presentations are interactive. I know that there's a number of experienced people in the room, so I expect to hear from you all. We're talking about the 10 things. Now, this is a general consensus of entrepreneurs over the years that has been compiled. So, how many people here are good at real estate investing? You all needed to turn around and look at the back. Yeah.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
This is good enough, perfect.
Yeah, right. How many people are good at what you do?
Yeah.
How many of you are good at running a business? I wish you could see that. All you in the front, I wish you could see that. Why is that? There's a difference, and I preach this. I've been preaching this for over 30 years. Just because you're good at something does not mean that you need to be in business. Let me repeat that. Just because you're good at something does not mean that you need to be in business. There's a difference between being good at something, and there's a big difference between running a business. So, we're going to address some things real quick about What 10 things you need to focus on to win a successful entrepreneur. First of all, and these are all pretty much financial related. We going backwards? We're going backwards. Okay. Is your corporate structure set up properly? Okay, and we're going to go through these pretty quickly, but make sure that your corporation is set up properly. Let me give you the reason for that. I bought my first piece of rental property at 21. Bought my first corporation at 26. Within 2 years, I had the IRS freeze all my assets 1 week before Christmas. Twice. Anybody? Had that happen? And you're yeah, you want to tell? You're laughing about it. You want to talk about it?
It was just, and I was just like a little like I mix up, so they say. Yeah. But they just, you know, they just froze some. I keep my money separated in different places at all times. So I got like 10 different accounts, but they froze like 3 of them.
Right.
You know, I make accounts, you know, not in my name, so that. And then it's the holidays, so everybody's closed. Can't answer any questions, and I don't carry all of my cards with me. You know, I normally carry what I call my working bank card, and I was on vacation, so when I got there, it's like, my card. What did you do? My card is the day before, man. You know, you're not gonna be open, but.
Why does the IRS garnish freeze your accounts right before Christmas? End of the year.
They don't want you spending the money.
Yeah. End of the year. Yeah.
They want to see you cry.
Yeah, they want to see you cry. Yeah, because I cry like a baby. That's the word I'm using. Corporate structure. So make sure your corporate structure. My corporate structure was not properly in place. That's why they garnished my wages. Accounting, legal expertise. Make sure that you have the right accounting and legal people in place in order to run your business. That could easily be just as dangerous as not having your corporate structure. Does everybody know how many different types of, how many here, I bet you just about everybody in here is a LLC who's incorporated. How many people are incorporated?
It's like an S corp.
Okay. Who has an S corp?
I have a S corp.
Any C corps? No. Okay, all right. We can get into another time, if we had more time, get into all the different types of corporations, but for what we're doing, that's probably pretty much what everybody is doing, and that's pretty much all we need to know. There's other different types of corporations. How many people do their own taxes? How many people are accountants and do their own taxes? Okay. Have you thought about having somebody, an expert, do your taxes for you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you talk? You're shaking your head very hard.
Oh yeah, now I don't know anything about taxes. So
Yeah.
You don't have to be an expert at everything, just find an expert in.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't cut my own yard either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I don't cut my own hair, Bob.
I live here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so being from Pittsburgh, you learned a lot about industry and corporate structure, and you know, Pittsburgh, Chicago, New York were the corporate headquarters of the United States for many, many years, so you learn a lot about people. And Andrew Carnegie, who built the steel industry for the United States, a lot of people don't realize he did not have much greater than an 8th grade education. But one of the things that he did very intelligently was he hired an accountant, and he hired an attorney, and he hired another accountant to oversee the accountant, first one that he hired, and then he hired another attorney to oversee the first attorney that he hired. So make sure that you have, that's from a man who in 1930 sold his steel business for $382 million to Rockefeller. So, yeah. So he knows a little bit about the right thing to do. The power of focus, focusing on tackling. Now, some of these are not related to real estate. Some of these are related to business in general. But we can translate those things. The power of focus, focusing on tackling one financial problem before you move on to the next one. this is important. That is important because one of the problems that many people have in industry, and I learned this a long time ago. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, had a lot of tremendous successes though. One of the things that I learned is the difference between successful and unsuccessful people when they have a problem is unsuccessful people focus on the problem. Successful people focus on the solutions. Huge difference. And it's a different type of thinking. So when you have financial problems, when you have your business and you're having financial problems, a lot of us tend to, and I did early on too, tended to focus on the problem. And you have to train yourself every day that you're doing real estate, every day that you're running your business, every day that you're doing, you have problems. And one of the things that successful people do is focus on, I had an old man tell me, he taught entrepreneurial classes in New York. I used to be a stockbroker. And I was in New York, I was in Manhattan, and I met a guy who taught entrepreneur classes. And he told me this, I was in my 20s, so those of you who don't know me, that's only 10 years ago. So, well, hey, that's real, that's real. Eat your problems for breakfast. And I got to tell you, man, you'll live a long time doing that. What he meant was address your problems early on when they happen. Don't sit around and fester on them. Focus on solving the problems. Don't focus on the problem. The power of focusing on doing one thing well, monetizing it, and then growing, expanding from there. We've probably got some people, and there are people there everywhere that are doing this, and you know them. Hopefully you aren't them, but you'll get an idea, and then you'll get another idea. I've got somebody that I'm working with now. I have a business consulting. I have 4 companies. One is a business consulting firm, and I've got a situation right now where the artist type, where the creatives tend to get an idea and then move to another idea and then move to another idea before they focused on finishing or monetizing the first idea. So focus on doing one thing well, monetizing it, and then growing it and expanding it from there. Any questions, any comments? Spending less than you make. That seems like that's logical. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Disaster horror stories about this. Spending less than you make. So many people in America open up a business. I think in America, we think because we're such a privileged company, we're going to open up a business or start a business, and we start making money, and then we go out and buy all kinds of stuff. And it causes all sorts of problems. So, generating profit for your personal life and for your business is number one. I preach this religiously. Your business is an entity. It doesn't care about all the other issues and minutia that happens around you. I always joke about this. I preach this. I wrote this for a book one time. Your business is an entity. It wants to eat every day. If you don't feed your business, it's going to fail. Your entity, your LLC, your S Corp, your C Corp, it doesn't care about the weather. It doesn't care about, who died. It doesn't care about any of those things. We sometimes personalize our corporation. We personalize our business. And that's a mistake. I'm not saying you should be robots, but be careful about that. Your business exists to do one thing. Tell me what that is. Make money. Bottom line. Forget borrowing, raising money. Now this is a tricky one. And this doesn't always apply, and there's probably some reasons that some people. This is for a different type of business, but it sort of applies to real estate and business in general. There are times when you want to borrow money, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But raising money and generating sales from your business is more important than borrowing money. For example, personal experiences, a lot of people or businesses will have something, an idea. They're great at borrowing money, but their business or their property is not good at generating sales or good at generating revenue. It's like inventory. You collect a lot of properties. You got all these properties. You need to sell these properties. So you're sitting on property. You're sitting on money. So instead of borrowing more money from time to time to get more properties or to increase your business, generate sales. This is the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. And I won't go into it about the story of GM and how they were so successful and what made them different from other companies when they were during the industrial age. Get out of debt. This is a Dave Ramsey. I don't necessarily agree with everything Dave Ramsey has to say about getting out of debt. But the role of debt in your personal and business life and strategies for removing debt from your life. There is such a thing as good debt. Does anybody know what good debt is?
Yeah, passes.
Yes, go ahead.
Something that makes you money.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line. Did everybody hear that?
No.
Okay. Could you repeat that?
Something that makes you money.
Yeah. Good debt. Is it, this is good for your personal, let me go back. This is good for personal, but when it comes to business, there are times when you do want to go into debt. If your debt is going to make you money, then it's not a bad idea to go into business. Yes, sir.
We're in real estate class. The answer is real estate.
Yeah. Right. There is such a thing as good debt. College education, business investment, real estate investments. Those are the things that are good. These two are together. If anybody has any questions or anything, please stop me. You can't be everything to everyone. And is anybody here? You don't have to raise your hand. But is anybody here in that situation where you're trying to be everything to everyone in your business? Okay. Or in your personal life?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Read that. That's critical. These are things that I've learned, and these are things that I've learned from other people who are far more successful than me. And I just wanted to share these with you. If you took this is a general consensus of business owners and highly successful people. You can't be everything to everyone. Be the best that you can be. Focus on what you do well and make that the thing that people come to you for. Now there's a whole other part to that I do. It's like a 1 hour session. We're not going to do that, obviously. But it's becoming a person of interest. In other words, where people come to you because they believe that you're the expert at what you do. It's a whole different subject, and we can talk about that at some other point in time. I think Bob has seen me do that presentation. Financial stuff in your partners in life and business. Whew. I have seen, we talked about partners. I try not to do partnerships. I'm not a big fan of partnerships. I've seen horror stories. My first experience in a partnership, I went to a high school in Pittsburgh where a lot of folks were self-employed. At 14, one of my friends came back from vacation with his family. He and his uncles and his fathers owned a family business. They were having some issues. And so he and his family went on vacation. They had a big warehouse in Pittsburgh. I mean, big. You've seen the type of warehouse where the 18-wheelers back up to the back door, that kind of warehouse. Well, they went on vacation. At that time, they were having a dispute amongst the brothers. When they came back from vacation, the other brother had backed up 4 18-wheelers to the garage, emptied out the warehouse, and moved it to Florida. So, partnerships are tricky, and also make sure, I tell people this all the time, make sure that your spouse or partner, life partner, is on board with what you're doing. I have seen husbands and wives destroy people's businesses. They become jealous of the business. They become jealous of the time that you're spending with the business. It's the similar situation with ministers or people who spend a lot of time at their business. They become jealous of the business, and they can destroy your business. So manage your partnership, both in life and in business. What other funny stuff that I want to tell? We'll go on. Oh, keep personal and business finance separate, and how to do that. Sir, would you like to address that again? Keeping your personal and business finances separate?
I mean, I just, you know, I have, matter of fact, I have an account that I have some stuff come out of business that I really don't even check it until, like, you know, every quarterly, because it's just over there doing what it's doing. And my daughter, they have their own account that their mom can access. Right. We have an account for me and the girls to access. They have my 8-year-old. I'm working on her retirement for.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah, that is. Has anybody here had any experience other than this gentleman had any experience with that? Mixing your personal. Yes, sir. What?
Are you open to share? Yeah, well, for one, liability reasons, it's very important.
Exactly.
Because if it's found that you aren't doing it right, it can pierce the corporate veil. One of the bigger things, and then business credit. If you're trying to build a relationship with the bank, business credit, especially if you want to separate that from personal name, it's a lot of things.
Right. I think somebody else had their hand up as well. Anybody? Okay. Well, then we'll probably wrap. I've got a few more things, and then retirement planning. This is a big one. A lot of us who are self-employed, we get so wrapped up in, and I'll tell you, when I do this presentation, I'm very upfront with people. My grandmother was a real OG. She was a straight up thug. I'm just being honest with you. I'm serious. She made a living doing every possible thing that was illegal that you could imagine. I swear to God. Funny story. I was about 14 and I would go to her house and, you know, she had velvet drapes, 12-foot ceilings, and I thought this was normal. And then about 16, because I used to wash her car, and she used to get a new Cadillac every 2 years. So about 16, I thought, man, Grandma must have a really good retirement plan. About 18, I realized, Grandma's never worked a day in her life. I'm very honest about it. But here's the problem with that. When you are the hustler, when you can no longer hustle, the hustle's gone. We're all hustlers in here. That's all we are. We're legal, most of us. But we're hustlers. That's what we do. We're entrepreneurs. That's what we do. Do you have a plan? If you're not government or retired military, do you have a plan for your retirement? Because when you can no longer hustle, or if a time comes that you can't be the hustle, what's going to happen to you? So this is a very critical, talk with someone, find somebody that you trust, talk about some sort of retirement plans, get your retirement plan set up. If you're a millennial, there's no more pensions. Pensions stopped with you're over 50, you probably don't have a pension. So what are you going to do? People 50 and under have to be responsible for their own retirement plans. People who are self-employed have to be responsible for your own retirement plans. The hustle's going to go away. You have to be prepared for it. So, We're going to move on to something else real quick. Anybody questions? We're done. That's those 10. Anybody agree or disagree? Okay. We're going to go on to the next part. Darn it, I forgot. Does anybody have $20 I can borrow? Okay. Yeah.
I can bet.
Okay. Okay. I pay my problem share. Okay. All right. I forgot to. I'll give it. I promise I'll give it to you soon. Okay, I'm going to sit that there. How many people? The first person that can give me all 4 critical communication skills for an entrepreneur gets that $20. There's 4 critical communication skills. Can somebody tell me what they are? Dean Lee?
Listening,
Right?
speaking,
Right?
pictures.
Okay, she's got 2 of them also. You know, the first one that gets all 4.
Empathy?
No. Well, right? Right. Go ahead. One more.
Read.
Yeah.
Read?
Yes. Okay, so nobody got the $20.
Reading, speaking.
No, it doesn't work that way. Here's your $20, Bob. We're going to go over them. This is one of my mentors, Paul Meyer, and I'll just give you the brief story. He found me one of the most successful businessmen in this country out of Waco, Texas. I credit a lot of my success first from God and my family, but also for Paul Meyer. Paul Meyer was the founder and CEO of Success Motivation Institute out of Waco, Texas. He learned about me as a young man. I had done some important things. He flew me down to Waco, Texas to learn about Success Motivation Institute. I was about 24. And at the time I realized that they wanted me to run the region for Western Pennsylvania. And I was single and I was driving a sports car and doing well financially. I realized I was too immature to take on that responsibility. But I bought some of his training materials. And this is a promotion for educating yourself constantly. I bought some of Success Motivation Institute's training materials, and I come from a poor family. And I took some of the material and I started it, and I said, man, you know, you have to set goals and read and blah, 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 blah. And I did that for about 6 months. You have to write stuff down, write down your goals. And long term, short term. God, this is bull crap. I'm 25 years old. I don't need this. I started the program, put it down. 6 months later, picked it up and realized I'd accomplished about 2/3 of the things that I had written down. My life was changed forever. Forever. He is one of the reason behind some of the things that we're going to talk about, the communication, the types of communication skills and their importance. Writing skills, man. And we'll knock this out very quickly. I'm not going to get involved in these real heavy, but your ability to communicate is far more important than any college degree. I'm not knocking any college degree. Your ability to communicate and your ability to generate money is far more important than any college degree. I bought a corporation, and I joke about this. I teach this all the time too. How many people here have borrowed money for your business? How many people here have borrowed money for your business?
Like the clothing business?
Any kind of business. How many people that you borrowed the money from asked you what your GPA was?
Zero.
Probably should.
Your ability to communicate and your ability to generate revenue is one of the most, or the, more important than any other thing. Educate yourself, reading, writing, listening all the time. Whether you're looking for an investor to invest in your startup, you want to form a partnership with other companies, you need to have outstanding, convincing writing skills. I have a copy of this if anybody wants it, but it's too late to go through all of this. But there's a couple of things I want to point out. Writing skills are as important for established entrepreneurs as they are for new entrepreneurs. It can help established entrepreneurs make partnerships with other companies and attract new clients. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Speaking skills. Won't go into all of this. I recommend everybody here familiar with Toastmasters? Okay. Quick funny story. I had been speaking publicly for about 15 years, and a friend of mine she writes books and she's a famous speaker. She asked me to come to her book signing. I went to the book signing. After the book signing, she said, I said, Patty, where are you going? She said, I'm going to a Toastmasters meeting. What are you talking about? We've been 15 years, people have been paying us to speak publicly. What are you going to a Toastmasters meeting for? She said, oh, just shut up and go to a Toastmasters meeting. So there was no Toastmasters meeting in my neighborhood, so I started one. I founded a Toastmasters club. And probably one of the most important investments I'd ever made in my career. It changed the way that I thought about what I was already good at, which was public speaking. I learned so much more, and then was able to help some other people become better speakers at what they do. So your speaking skills, your ability to communicate is so important for getting money, for making friends, for closing deals, for getting new tenants. Anything that you have to do that's related to your business, your ability to communicate and generate your feelings and how you feel about it is critical. This one here too. It also comes in handy when entrepreneurs want to introduce new change to the business. If you can communicate effectively with employees, there will be less resistance to change and they'll accept it. Now, not all of you have employees, and you may never have, but it's something to think about. That was why Ann was here today as we grow our businesses. Listening skills. They say that there are several genders, or there is one gender that's better at this than the other. And I'm not going to say which one. What'd you say? But listening skills. I got to tell you, I've had a lot of successes in life. I've had a lot of failures, but I have so many people. This is a funny thing. I joke about this. People thought for years I was so much smarter than I actually was, only because I listened to them. This is an amazing thing. I've had people ask me, what's your graduate degree in? I don't have a graduate degree. I just listen. And it's an amazing thing. I couldn't believe it. I encourage people to do this. This is one of the things you learn in Toastmasters. Effective listening. Yes, go ahead.
I used to be a Mary Kay consultant, and they used to tell the story about Mary Kay and how she'd be surrounded by 50,000 consultants, but if she was talking to you, she would block out everybody else and look you right in the eye and listen to what you were saying.
True story.
You were the only one that mattered.
Exactly. When you're talking to somebody, they're the most important. Her thing is Mary Kay.
Leader.
Exactly. When you're speaking to somebody, you talk to them like they're the only person in the room. You could be in a room full of people. So your ability to communicate and your listening skills, and listen, when you're talking to people, listen to them. I have picked up on deals like you can't imagine. Look, folks, I don't have a college degree. You know, I've had 3.5 years of college, but I don't have a college degree. My clients have been Mellon Bank, U.S. Steel, PPG Industries, I can't remember, Armco Steel, major accounting firms throughout the country. How do I do it? It's only because I'm listening. Look, in 2003, I was one of 10 people chosen from the United States to go to Israel to meet with Israeli and Palestinian officials.
Hey, grandma's blood.
I don't know.
They thought I was smarter than I was. That's just the short version of the importance of communication. And the last one, what was the last one? Reading. Okay. Read something about your business, learn something new about your business every single day. Read one new book a year. I was just in a meeting, a closed private meeting in Charleston with the only human being to ever film Apple and document Apple. He met Bill Gates early on in Apple's career. He said, "Mr. Gates, I would like to document your company." And Bill Gates, when you learn about him, was a bastard. Excuse my expression. But he said, "Okay, go ahead." So for 15 years, this gentleman documented Apple and their growth, Bill Gates, everything about them. And when he talks about Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, rather, he talks about these 4 things and his ability to do all of these things well. But Steve Jobs did a great job of reading and learning something new about his industry every single day. So, let me back up. Not only can reading help keep you abreast of current business scenarios and strategizing accordingly, entrepreneurs who don't have the habit of reading often fail to devise sound business and marketing strategies. Reading gives you exposure and power to thinking ability. When you start reading, you gain more information and get newer ideas. It's just that simple. So, entrepreneurs must work on developing their skills, communication skills, in order to run a successful organization and achieve business success. That's it. Any questions? Yes?
Do you know if there's a Toastmasters in this area? Because I have lived and I haven't.
There is, there's one in Irmo.
There's several Toastmasters. There's one that meets downtown. So look, cheapest education you will get about public speaking ever. It's still $52 for 6 months. It blows my mind. For $104 a year, I'm also trained to teach Dale Carnegie. That's thousands of dollars to train. I train high-level executives for thousands of dollars. You can get the same thing at Toastmasters almost for $52 every 6 months, $104 a year. It is worth every penny. $2 a week, you can learn how to communicate effectively.
For less than the price of coffee.
Ridiculous.
Seriously.
So, but yeah, there's Toastmasters Club everywhere, Dean Marie. There's one meets at 7 o'clock in the morning downtown. There's a couple, but
You can go online and put in.
right, Toastmasters International.
Do you have to be invited?
No.
So,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just told him he can invite him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. This abbreviated version of about a 3-hour training, 2-day training. But if anybody has any questions, I think I have this, and I could send it to you, or if you want to talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. So, y'all are wonderful. Yes.
Are you in Philadelphia or are you in
Pittsburgh. I'm here most of the time because two of my companies are growing faster than I expected. So I'm here a lot. But yeah. I don't know.
Things that might be of interest to you, okay? And hope to see you all next month, if not sooner.
I do have some questions that's real estate related. Should I put those on there? Okay, before we leave?
Yeah.
Okay. This is for real estate investment, like business owners in here. So considering what both of them said, with your properties, when you purchase each individual property, do you put it under one LLC or you do LLC per property? I'm just curious.
I do a land trust and the LLC is a beneficiary. That way they can't search on the LLC and find all the properties. So the only thing on the public record is going to be the name of the trust as well as the trustee's name.
And do you, that's my other question, for the properties that you own, do you use like American Shield or something, or do you hire a maintenance company to do your properties?
Are you talking to rental? Well, I kind of let the tenants do it on.
Oh, your own tenants. Do you use any type of technology to manage all of your properties?
I just have like I have one main bank account and a separate bank account. When it's deposited in that account, I just check on the computer.
No other technology like the system.
I only have 20 rentals. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
So Cozy, if you got your rental property, you want your tenant to be able to pay online, it's fairly cheap. If I'm not mistaken, it's free. I don't use it because it's not, it's just easy to get the deposit or Venmo, whatever you want to use, but Cozy is easy. Very easy.
Yeah, I only have 20 properties, so I don't feel like
I only have some.
succeeding on.
I have 4 properties, but I didn't know. I was just wondering. No.
Let me send you my rental lease and you'll see why I don't
Thank you.
What level are your tenants? Are they kind of like the upper high?
Get more to the, like, the apartment.
Where is it?
Sorry, Bob.
This is my daughter.
I'll
be your son. Should be back. That's why now, see, I lost 35. Hey Trish, why are you hanging around this guy? Why are you hanging around this guy? I feel sorry for him. I know how you feel.
I get picked on by Midlands REIAs and all the other ones.
What you did to do their family members.
Well, yeah, this is what, you know that contract I sent you, okay, the payment draws, that's it.
I put down my contact you now, like don't ask for money or anything, like no.
I never get ahead of them payments. They get, hey,
That's a low face now. So we'll see. This is the last time. I can serve later, of course.
I'm glad you made one. I lost one.
So before this
I like Len Leslie, that's me. There's a number of good accounts who do it. I don't know if Len is.
I can just maybe email you and
Right.
I'm going to try and find a local person here. And also,
that's actually I'm not an expert, but that's my favorite. In fact, I'm going to probably hold a workshop subject to negotiation. Probably next month. This month. Next I have a contract. Technically speaking, I just have the contract to tell the attorney. My contract just says, first money down, existing home, stay in seller's name. That's all it says. Of course, you really just write down the I'm sure the contract.
By email, you can email it to me.
Yeah, sure. So South Carolina, really disclose everything's with real estate to just that being said,
Hey Bob, I just want to stop by and say hey.
Good to see you. Hey, glad you can make it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna try to come moving forward. You know, I'm like I said, starting to get into the real estate business. So well, I'm just gonna join.
I tell you, first go to the other ones and make sure you can't get for free. Because I hate to see anybody spend a penny if you can get that information somewhere.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is the second time I've been here. Last time I came was like a year ago, and you know, I've been impressed with the people that are here and what you can get. So, you know, for $100, they're not.
I'll make sure you get your money.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thanks. And I guess I'll probably see you. We'll maybe cut you something soon.
Looking forward. Hey, don't forget the calendar events. There's a Columbia REIA meeting Thursday. But if you're buying it for yourself,
That's how I heard it. Once I put offering you a person, I put a number.
If we have a, if we can have a contact person.
Okay. Actually, I give my attorney.
Because I just want to make sure that we
So just
in there.
You know why?
I started doing research. Does go, you know what I mean, the time and it keeps going up. It's not the property.
move on. Follow up. Your system's
Check with the boys.
Clemson fan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Kind of, I guess Clemson just was in South Carolina, but I would.
You know, the statistics, they should have won. They just couldn't put it in the end zone. Nevertheless, Clemson's still a good team.
Oh, very good. We're just
And we had our intro.
Yes, and Keisha and I are going to be doing that.
You never say right your next. I'm asking about remember?
Yes, sir.
2 networking meetings each week now. Feel the center? You too. Thanks for coming.
The center. You have a card?
I do, but I don't.
See my text? Could you text me my number? I have several numbers for you.
Oh, yeah. Probably did it to my own email. I closed that business. Yeah, I had it.
This is what I like about it. So try it, if it don't work, move on. Try it, move on. And then finally something will hold on. This is what it's supposed to do. Overnight success.
Oh,
this is what I'm used to. This is where I want to be when I get
it's a downfall. I've been trying to work big things.
Do that. And I got you too. We got you locked in. Yes, sir. You gonna send me your card too?
What I was supposed to do, like,
What do you do?
That's our,
Executive producer, we have
is there another?
our CEO from Disney. That was the first departure book in China. Like us. We have you give me that away. Movie coming out this summer with Tyler Perry. Called The First Birthday. It's kind of large.
I think I may put a change this from last thing. This is what I need to do, obviously. So I gotta figure that out. But we haven't said anything about it. So that's one thing.
This thing's really huge. We got proprietary ice cream. Ice cream trucks that are traditional kids actually receive. What we're doing is normally when movies come out, then they do the products on the back end. So we do all the workshops, our party boxes, augmented reality. Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm not a good writer like the film creator. Oh no. This is what you're good at. Somebody else could have been greater. So our record, so this is our book. That's why that's fun. Okay. And that was he can't say there was some things that you were saying I wanted to touch base on. That's me. Now, of course, no, you need to call because and see, Mr. Johnson, and we'll touch base on the background. He grew up, he went to China, he's like Walt Disney. AMC Theater, across the country, AMC, like, we want to actually have a birthday party in the theater for the movie. We can only do that because AMC is owned by China. And in China, it's email. So each executive producer is going to get a minimum of $25,000. That'll happen in the next 3 months. And then we get $1 million after the movie airs and then share.
Right now it's at free.
So it's like a real deal. Listen, we're going to open our piece on water park in South Carolina. My South Carolina team is going to open our own channel.
So you would calculate from what it is.
We've got a few more slots left for executive producers. It's okay. I want to say that just so you can see exactly what it's about. It's $1,000 to each licensing.
Yeah.
But after that, you gotta understand now, we're gonna end this movie, but we have the ability to take one of the characters out of 1,000 characters. We already love that with Tyler Perry. So the money side is a 30-year thing he's been working on, and now we're about to launch when we start shooting in May. So I'll send you. I'll send you. And it's crazy because I came here, because I came here looking for Johnny. You know, it's your first time here. We had been here since the summer. During the summertime, we were really getting going. That was school started. We got 2
two sons. But so my wife, you gotta get corn. We do that, and so this is my sandwich.
Which is what they would basically solely look at that.
Everybody that's going out to right now is doing a cremation. This is at the big camera. It's the same type of goal in the country as we build debt. So it's taking declining people because you know the dollar's lost its value. And we put it in gold. So now it's protecting, building wealth and saving. So it's over free savings accounts. We get paid to save all the money. So you have that. I heard you guys 8 years. But we can't eat. I got you on my shoe.
They were open on financing.
This ain't even money, right?
And you know, it was someone.
I ended up with McDonald's like that too, as long as she's straight. Thank you.
And obviously,
that's more responsibility in the world. Yeah. So when's a good time for us to touch base? You man, when you're on the road. I'm gonna take the whole off to make sure that we got this lined up. Because my wife and I both retiring this year. So in the next few months. Right now I work in a prison on Broadway. So after 5 o'clock, I don't go to sleep. Okay, all right, okay. I don't sleep. Let me tell you. All right. I'm gonna give you about 30 minutes to get home now. Tonight? No. Tomorrow. I get to tomorrow. Because leaving here, I got a couple other people that's coming on board. So I mean, I'll be up. I just need to shoot you the video. The presentation is 15 minutes. Then that way, that'll give you 85% of the info, and we can cover the questions and answers from there. Okay. Like I tell you, man, and the real estate is just the icing on the cake. See, I met Bob almost a year and a half ago.
What I'll do is I'll type this up and send it both to you and Bob.
Yeah.
And that way,
after a while, you're not doing it because you just have that money come ask or something. Give your money an assignment. As a matter of fact, I got a guy that I'm talking to. He got I said, let's go wholesale thing. Let me call. So I'm just calling people right because I got my little philosophy. Let me go ahead and get my 100 no's out of the way. I called this dude. He was like, you was calling about the plate.
And I don't know if we should count Andy.
You know, right? He was like, $2.5 million. 8 duplexes, 100% occupancy. And the net is 120, no, it's like 164.
You can get it, but
He just now upgraded it. He just want to retire and drive his RV. And I'm sitting there like, hey, I'm coming home. I tell her, I'm about to come home right now. That's awesome. We've been working the real estate for a while. I just was playing around, getting my nose out of the way, getting used to the nose. And the dude told me, I can't get the deal to me. I'm way out of my nose to talk to me. Who that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, really? Oh, all right.
So are you basing that off of the income source from that property, or is it, like, say, like, through your personal credit? I know they pull a little bit from your personal credit, but is it mostly from the income from that property? Yeah.
Hey man, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. There's a lot of things I can bring up.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I think I'm on the website.
And I got 80 something too. I'll text you some what I
It's not a organized area.
That's my number.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because I went to the course at Malaya.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking maybe I can run the pool off the solar panel. If I can run the pool off solar panel,
But that's because you're giving them it.
Yeah, I'll be at the
I see why that price is at that one on there.
If you think about it, treat like
Give you my number, I think I'm on West, but I'll give you my number.
Yeah.
put it money in the bank account.
Where you from?
At least I'm doing.
Oh, in South Carolina? Your whole life?
I'm gonna shoot my info over to you.
Okay, I'll go.
Make it happen. You got my info, I'm gonna shoot this presentation over to you. Okay, all right, thanks. Let's make it happen. Okay.
Oh, since you went since a baby?
Yeah.
I know my point.
Yeah, especially with that.
I'm starting on Wednesday.
So that would definitely, that's why that
All
cap rate was so
summers, they
high.
always go back home. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then they come back to school. But in the summers, they be gone.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's not fully occupied.
Single family apartment.
It's like 11 units and like only 6 of them are occupied right now.
Some
And
people, they're
Oh, so you was born there, but you was raised there.
who require family.
Teddy? Okay, let's say, no, I'm giving you my
yeah,
number.
is that possible around here?
201?
It's how you do
93?
Yeah.
And so you make it
50.
so you negotiate their price down.
Yeah, and you can, I normally answer my phone unless I'm working or something,
So,
running
but
machines, then I won't, but I always have a little earpiece.
Well, no, I
normally.
understand that.
If I'm not running machines, I'm answering the phone. If I don't answer the phone, it goes to
It would be
voicemail,
up
it'll say, it'll show you a little video that says,
probably
text.
how to get it. It wouldn't be a
So
12,
that's how you
15%.
No,
I don't
if you could get it to 10 or above,
10 or above is the sweet spot.
that would be acceptable.
So with that one, that area is really the biggest thing that has caught me up. And really, I'm kind of just doing that, the numbers in my head for that one, just to kind of learn about it as well. And surprising, the agent said you might be open to owner financing,
So
but
is it a D class or C class?
it's probably D class.
So did you sign up?
Okay, then yeah.
It's over there. It's in 224 over there. I can't remember the number. It's listed on the market. I mean, I just called the agent just to kind of see numbers, you know, just play around with
It's 2
numbers.
weeks from now, I think, it's on the 25th.
It's like, you know where that Drew Wellness Center is over there in Hart? It's kind of behind there a little ways.
On the membership.
I don't know anything over there,
Oh,
honestly,
it's
at
in
all.
that area, it's downtown area. Kind of southwest of the state capitol. Southeast. Yeah, 5 Points Capitol, where you're not from there.
I am. I don't know that area that's in. I've never been over there at all. I've drove through there recently, you know, just like looking at it and stuff, but I don't even. I know it's probably because it's off. You would have to go away from the state capitol off Harvard Street. And right, so like the reason that I thought it might be interesting is right now it's at a 3% cap, 2.9% cap rate currently, and then it's
especially in that kind of an area.
so it's not worth it to add that value in there and get it up to the cap rate. You would want to purchase that at the 3% cap rate. And do it now.
So now that's on the church. How's that possible?
California.
You know, there's a gentleman here who's looking for, you have trucking connections. He's looking for somebody to transport petroleum. Do you know anyone who could do that? His name is Deepak.
If I mean, I can talk to him because I mean, hey, depends on what you want to talk about. I can just go up there and get my permit.
Yeah.
Because I'm already driving the truck, and I got a driver. And I got, matter of fact, my driver out right now.
Oh man, he left early. Yeah, Deepak's looking for transport petroleum. This gentleman's a truck driver.
And I got a driver. So,
Give me your information and I'll send it to him. I'll make sure he gets it.
Usually rent it takes about 4 or 5 days. Okay, so
Do you have a pen?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So they're gonna
Yeah.
push it.
Let me write this.
Oh, you also couldn't take some.
I usually text you back and be like, LOL, try again.
You can just call me, I mean, if I'm here, I'll answer the phone. I mean, I'll answer the phone whenever I can.
You're like,
All right, well, basically, I just take
And
it.
if not, I'm normally
Listen,
back to
listen,
do
listen,
it.
I don't care. I mean, I don't know.
and then they'll come back and give you like an
He's
actual freaking
This is trying to retire. It's 8.
And then they're gonna come
8.
back again after their contractor comes out.
16
You
doors,
already have a
100%
contract. The contractor's gonna come out and then they're gonna
based on
say,
the
hey,
rates,
it's like $6,000
you
less
can
than the
raise
high
the
price
rent.
they gave you.
He just never did it
And then you,
because
I just
okay,
replied.
all free. So he never really had a reason to because he didn't really care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if he has 100% occupancy, he should raise the rent.
Yeah, but it's just that type of thing. But it's available to have the rent raised. But I talked to him. He's not going to bring it on the market until he's not trying to sell them until the 20th because he don't want it to sell under the brokers. But the guy just now told me to come tell you about it. But I have access to him. I can give you his number.
This is in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, where in Florida?
South Florida, on that little, near that little strip. I always say,
Fort Lauderdale?
yeah.
Bob, I'll call you, okay?
Hey, you know, good to see you, man. This is my son, Enoch.
What's going on?
Prodigal son. I'm back. I was going for a little bit. I'm back. I'll call you, okay? I'll call you.
Also, it's good. It's, I mean, you can just.
And like I said, it's like, you know, he's just trying to get rid of it, but it's a good deal and everything. Like I said,
8 duplexes?
yeah, 16 doors.
He's a nurse.
Yeah. Now, I can't promise anything, my market's mainly up here. Let me take a look, I think I might have a connection down. I might have a connection down in Pompano Beach. So,
Yeah, it's close
It's
to
not his fault.
is it? Okay.
Pompanos.
You know, I have my brother-in-law is a mortgage broker in Pompano Beach. He does investment properties quite a bit. So send me, I'll tell you what, we can go through you, make sure you get a little bit of this purchase here. So you can wholesale it.
Okay.
Send me info, I'll send Chris, his name's Chris, I'll send Chris info on it, see if he's interested.
All right, my name's Chris.
Yeah. Well, this is Chris with a K, K-R-I-S,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
Canadian.
Okay, all right. Okay, but I'll send the information to you.
Sounds good, Chris.
All right, thanks a lot. Take care.
Good to see you.
Kim, what's going on? You doing all right? What you do? I need your number two?
I'm a host.
That multi-unit thing that we went to over by Whole Foods.
You gonna be able to teach me?
Multi-unit.
Okay, we'll learn together then. Okay. You got your card?
I don't have a card on me, no.
Oh, see, now the first thing we gonna work on is, you over here, driver, I'm a truck driver, I know. But you got my information, okay? I'm your driving force, and me, you'll go ahead and start this thing. Yeah.
The happy African.
All right, what's your name?
Dennis McBride. I love Enoch. Somebody with a name like Enoch. You could really just be like.
All right. You gotta tell me Dennis McBride. See, because you gotta have a catchy name.